Okay, on the take note part, it says congruent figures have. Okay, you'll want to put this on the first line. Figures that have. Congruent figures have figures that have the same size and shape. Figures that have the same size and shape. Okay, and their corresponding parts. Corresponding parts. That's the parts that match. And their corresponding, that's double R, corresponding parts have equal measures. So congruent figures have figures that have the same size and shape, and their corresponding parts have equal measures. It'll make more sense as we go along that definition. Let's take a look at these two triangles here. So let's see what we have that match up with these triangles. Notice that we have, see this one little dash mark and this one little dash mark. It means they are the same length. So this and this, these are two sides. You can just say side. Okay, they have a side that matches. Notice the ones with the two bars right there, the two tally marks. This side and this side matches. So they have another side that matches, that corresponds. And then, of course, they have one with three. So we have another side that matches. So we could say that these two are congruent because they have the same side. Trying to use colors here. Side and side. They have a side, side, and side that are equal. Just have the same measures. Therefore, it is congruent. These two triangles are congruent because they have a side that match, another side that match, and another side. Three sides that match. Now let's look at the center one here. Because they have a side, angle, side. Side, angle, side. So we can say that two triangles, if they have the same side, an angle, and a side in a row. So notice how it's consecutive in a row. Then we can say that these two triangles are congruent. Now let's go to the far right triangle. Now when I'm doing this, I'm going to go look at it going clockwise. I first notice that they have an angle that is the same. Next, I notice that they have a side that is the same, this side right here. Also notice they have another angle that is the same. These two match, they're corresponding. So that is an angle. So you could say that these are congruent, these two triangles, because I have an angle, a side, and an angle. They are congruent by ASA, angle, side, angle. Okay, going down below here, it says identify congruent parts. In the figure, triangle TUV is congruent to triangle WUX. They're the same. That means their parts are the same. Now, I'd like to give you a close-up here. See how it has his letters TUV, WX, WUX? That means that T matches up with W. U matches up with U, and V matches up with X. So you don't even need to look at the picture. You could go ahead and write down what equals what. And I'll try that with you right now. Okay, our first one says, name the corresponding congruent angles. So we have angles. Angle V, so if you look right here, you have angle V. Which one does it match up with over here? Here's angle V. That one should match up with angle X. And if you look at the picture, angle V and angle X, they are the same. They correspond to each other. So angle V is congruent to angle X. Okay, in case it's not clear to you, let me just double check. Let me just double do something here. TUV, we have TUV, and WUX, WUX. We know that V, this angle right here, matches up with X, this angle right here. Just by even looking the order, they match up. And if you look at the picture, they also match up. If I look at angle U, that should match up, this one right here, angle U, that matches up with this angle U. And of course it does. They're 90 degrees and they are vertical angles, so they are the same. Okay, so U matches up with U. And then the other one, angle W, should match up with angle T. And if I look over here, W should match up with angle T. All right, and so I can just do that just by looking at the order of the letters, seeing which one matches up, without even looking at the picture. And it also works the same thing with sides. So for example, if I have TU, here's TU, I'm going to put one line right there. TU matches up with WU. And I look at WU, and that those two should match up. Next, if I look at UV, that should match up with UX. UV, I'll put two lines there, that should match up with UX. And those go together. And of course I have the other one, VT, or TV, should match up with WX, looking at the order. So TV should match up with WX. So you have a choice. You can either look at the order of things, or you can look at the diagram. So let's see, angle T, T matches up with W. It's the first letter. Angle TUV, TUV should match up with WUX. Okay, next one. It says name the corresponding congruent sides. So what does TV match up with? Well, looking over here, TV should match up with WX. If you look at your picture, you'll see that. Next one, TU. What does that match up with? TU, the first two, will match up. TU matches up with WU. TU and WU. And put a bar over it because it is a segment. Next, VU. What does that match up with? If you look over here, let's see. VU should match up with XU. And if you look at your diagram, you'll see that they'll all match up. VU and XU are the same. Last one, it says, find the length of WX. Since WX is congruent to, and I look over here and I see that WX is congruent to VT. Or TV, rather. Right? So if I look over here, I see that WX, these two together, is congruent to TV. And since those are congruent and TV is 300 meters, then WX equals the same, 300 meters. It has to. They're both congruent. They're both the same size and shape. Can now turn to the next page, 149. Okay, workbook page 149. The directions tell us, identifying congruent triangles, list the congruent corresponding parts of each pair of triangles. Write a congruent statement for each triangle. Okay, so let's see what matches here. Notice the first thing we have is LJ. So LJ, here's LJ right here. That one there, it's got the one tick mark. Look at this one. It should match up with this one, which is MK. LJ matches up with MK. Okay, the next one. Angle LJK. LJK. Well, let's see. Where's angle LJK? LJK. That's this angle right here. This one is congruent to this angle. So if we did LJK, we have to do MKJ. MKJ. That angle right there, MKJ. So notice already we have a side, we have an angle. Oh, now we have another side here, JK. So JK is this one, and they're saying JK matches up to what on the other one? So we have this, it matches up basically with the same thing. JK matches up with KJ. They both share that one side. So they are congruent. So right now we have a side, an angle, and a side. So we could say that triangle, now let's see, we have to put this in the correct order. We have L, J, and K. L, J, K, M, K, J. That triangle, M, K, J, is congruent to L, J, K, Y. Because we have a side, an angle, and a side. That's how we know they're congruent. Because they both have side angle sides that are the same size and shape. Okay, the next one, we have angle ACB. Let's see, where's angle? Here's angle A, or here's A, C, B. So this angle right there, the one little mark on it, that is congruent to what on the other triangle? This one right here, isn't it? Let's see, A, C, B is the same as E, C, D. E, C, D. Next, we have AC. What's that congruent to? So we're looking at this one. AC, that's this side right there. That's congruent to this side over here, which is AC, and it matches up with EC. All right, and last, we have angle CAB. CAB, let's see, where's CAB? This angle right here. CAB matches up with CED. Okay, those two are the same. I did CAB, that matches up with CED. The order is important. So let's see, so what do we have here? We have angle ACB, triangle, ACB, triangle, ACB. Let's see, what does that match up with? ACB matches up with ECD. And why does it match up? Why is it congruent? It's saying here, is congruent. Why are those two triangles congruent? Because we have an angle, a side, and an angle that match up. An angle, a side, and an angle. That's why we can say those two are congruent. Because they have corresponding parts. Okay, looking at the bottom part, it says triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEC. ABC matches up with DEC. List all the pairs of congruent corresponding sides and angles, then find AC. Find AC. That's this part right there. Find that. So all I have to do is fill this in, and you can do it just by even looking at the letters. You don't even need to look at the picture if you don't wish to. And then down below, the last one, number 2, you have two triangles. You're supposed to put in what they match up to, the corresponding. And then what is the reason? Why are those two triangles congruent? What is the reason? Is it angle, side, 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 side? What is the reason? That's what you have to put down here. Okay, I'm just going to rewrite this right here. This triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEC. Right there. And now I'm going to try and match things up without even looking at the diagram. So AB should match up with DE. Remember, the order is important. BC, these two right here, BC, should match up with EC. Then we have AC. AC, the first and last, should match up with the first and last. DC. Angle A matches up with D. B matches up with E. Angle BCA. Angle BCA. See that? The second, third, and first should match up with the second, third, and first. E, C, D. And AC, let's see, we said AC is equal to DC. They're the same. So if I look at DC, DC is 50 meters. So AC must be the same, 50 meters, because they are congruent. So see, I could solve all this just by looking at the order of the letters and not even have to look at the diagram itself.